Hello, I'm going to share how I tune my guitar by ear using intervals. So I'm sure you've been there on the 5th fret, you go down the line, you tune each string to the one before it, maybe similar using harmonics up here, and it sounds great until you play a chord and it's like... Now this happens because as humans, most of us don't have perfect pitch. So as you're tuning each string to match the one above it, going down the line, you introduce a little bit of error each time that builds up. It's basically like the telephone game, and everything just goes out the window. So using intervals across different groups of strings can help us spread out this error of, this inherently in a lot of us, and make things sound a lot better. So if you're unfamiliar with intervals, I recommend this playlist by Jake Lizio. He runs a channel here on YouTube called Signals Music Studios, and he's just awesome guy, wonderful teacher. So the intervals I'll be using are the unison, the octave, the perfect fourth, and the major third. And I'm going to be going from standard tuning to open D, which if you're unfamiliar is D, A, D, F sharp, A, D. So these two outer E strings need to go down to a D so we can match them against our open D here using an octave. So generally you want to go below your target pitch and then up to it because it reduces the slack in the system that makes your guitar go out of tune when you start to play. Sounds pretty good to me. Do the same thing on the high E string. Alright, this is double drop D tuning. And there's a D5 chord we can check with the 2nd fret of the G string and the 3rd fret of the B string. And that's in the song Satellite by Elliott Smith. That's the reason I know this one. Alright, sounds pretty good. Just giant D5. Hooray, my guitar is now a power chord machine. Okay, so next we're going to drop the B string down to an A. And we can match it against our open A up here, which is another octave. Alright, this is Dad-Gad tuning, which as the name implies is D-A-D, G-A-D. So if we fret the 4th fret of the D string and then the 2nd fret of the G string, this is a D major chord that we can check. Sounds great, like a well-tuned car engine. I almost said guitar engine, but that would still be pretty cool. Okay, so finally we need to take the G string to an F sharp. Now we don't have anything really convenient to reference that, which is where we're going to use a major third. So right now the D and G string are a perfect fourth apart. So we need to take it down to a major third. So we will go a little bit flat, closer to a minor third, and then we're going to go up to that major third. Sounds pretty good. And like this might be as close as you can get if you're out and about and you left your tuner at home. So, and honestly, I try when I can to use my ear instead of my tuner, and of course I'll check my work with the tuner every now and then anyway. So let's see if we can go back to standard tuning. So generally the way I do this is I take the this right here, the D and the G back up to a perfect fourth. And I can check here by pressing the 5th fret of the D string for a unison. Sounds pretty good. And then after that, I'll actually check the, this is kind of a weird one I didn't mention. I'll check the D string and the B string for a major 6th. And then you can actually fret then on the 3rd fret of the B string and play that D, and you'll get an octave. Sounds pretty good. So I think we're back in double drop D. Let's check with that D5 again. Still sounding pretty good. So next we're going to take the lower E, and you can really do this in any order. This is just kind of how I habitually do it. A lot of it becomes muscle memory if you do this enough. I'm going to take the high E string back up to an E. Currently it's in a D. We haven't changed it back yet. This is going to be a perfect fourth. And to check it, similar to that one check we just did, if we fret it on the 3rd fret, and then we check with the D string, the G string, that's another octave. Alright, so now we just have drop D. So last step is to get this low E back to a low E. It's currently still a D. I know all these letters gets confusing, but so let's just go for it, and we're going to do a perfect fourth again against the A string. And then we can check by fretting the D string on the 2nd fret for an octave. And we can double check using the high E as well to get 2 stacked octaves, still fretting the D on the 2nd fret. Maybe this one could be a little bit sharper. Let's play some chords, see how it sounds. Not perfect, but hey, music is natural and inherently it has chaos and doesn't need to be perfect. But if you're going to be playing with the band, you may need to borrow someone's tuner. But if you're out in the park, you forgot to pack your tuner, and you don't have a tuning fork on hand, well, hey, maybe this will help you out. So give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this, or maybe if it was just humorous. I hope it's useful. And I know some of these take practice to learn, but it's really good. It's really, really, really good year training, I promise. And it's really useful when you do need to rely on it. And even when I do have my tuner with me, I often still try to tune it up by ear. Just, good practice. And yeah. One thing is you might find that your guitar will be a little bit flat if you do this, which will be fine. Again, as long as you're not playing with another person, if you're just be on your own and all that. So yeah, thanks for listening in, and hopefully this is useful. Bye-bye.